Good morning, YouTube. I am back. Flight Sim Guy here. It's been almost a year since I put up a video on my channel, and essentially I'm restarting the channel. More videos are going to be coming out. What I wanted to do in this video is P3D version 5 dropped last week. Okay, and I wanted to share with you my experience. So before you buy P3D version 5, watch this video. I'm going to go over some items that you want to consider before spending a good $70 on the simulator. Right now I'm in my favorite business jet, Extreme Prototypes Learjet 25D, and I'm flying over Kaitak. This is P3D version 5, just to give you an idea as to what to expect with regards to how it looks and how it performs. And by the way, Kaitak, as you know, pretty dense scenery, okay? And I'm getting really good frames. What have I been doing over the past year? Well, channel was offline because I made a pretty big life change. Packed up the house and sold, gave away or threw out most of my stuff, and I moved to sunny Florida in the Tampa area, and that's one of the best decisions I've made in my entire life. So if you're up north and you've been thinking about Florida, just do it, okay? Life is short. Pandemic is raging. We may not have much time left on this planet. Just get her done. There is such a thing as playing too much tennis. Fractured my hip when I was a kid. Arthritis set in and it got pretty bad, so I had surgery, and I've been recovering from said surgery. Also, I bought a new house in the Tampa suburbs. Been moving, getting settled in. Finally got my man cave set up. Got the simulator software installed, and I'm back to making videos. So first up, let's talk about some initial thoughts on P3D version 5. Looks great, and the performance is awesome in terms of how long it takes to load, the interface, moving around. It is absolutely fantastic, and that's about it. Unfortunately, I don't think P3D version 5 should have dropped when it did. It's not ready yet, and I'm going to give you the top reasons why you should wait for buying P3D version 5. V5 is still buggy. People are complaining of blue screens, prematurely crashing their computers. They can't load it. Some people are just having problems, and this is not with the software itself per se, but the interface with software drivers. Windows 10 just put out a major patch, so they're still shaking out some bugs, and some people are having some serious problems. Luckily for me, for the most part, it works, but it's still pretty buggy. Also, Lockheed Martin evidently did not work with a lot of the third-party developers. As a result, some of my favorite planes aren't ready. For example, all of the PMDB jets, the 747, 747-8, the 737, you can still install it if you want manually, but they're not going to support you. I've seen where some people got it to work, but the installers are not yet ready. And all the developers, they have to regression test their products and make new installers. If they've been working, or if Lockheed was working with them ahead of time, they could have at least gotten the installation process done and some regression testing. But they were left in the dark. As a result, some of the best products are not ready. In my case, the Mad Dog isn't ready. Airsoft's CRJ is not ready. The Beach Duke is not ready. The Learjet does. The Extreme Prototype Learjet does, but that was just luck. I pointed the installer to V5 and it worked. It's going to be a while before the market catches up. It's going to be a while before everybody gets to regression test their products and get their installers ready. So, you know, rather than getting your hopes up too high, just go ahead and wait. Wait about 4 to 6 weeks. Hopefully by then, the third-party developers will be hopping on board and trickling out their products. V5 is a new version of the simulator. As a general rule, never buy anything that's new. Always wait until it's been out in the market for a while, so the bugs gets shaken down and everybody gets caught up. Usually that's what I did, but I've been away from simming for so long that I just got excited. And when that Tuesday, was it last week, when the sim dropped, I was there mashing the F5 key trying to get, be one of the first persons to get in, and I was, and I downloaded and installed it. It's like a 22 gig install. Got it installed, set it up and everything, and like I said, it looks good and the performance is snappy, but that's about it. I recommend everybody else waits. Now, For those of you couldn't wait and was so anxious to buy the thing, like myself, there's still a lot you can get done even though a lot of the market is not ready. For instance, you can set up some of the system component environments that you need for your simulator. For example, FSU IPC is ready for V5. You can go ahead and download that and get that ready. Also, the Orbix sceneries will work fine with V5. Ditto for Chaseplane. Orbix acquired Chaseplane, so you can just go ahead and get those downloaded and get those installed. However, in my case, the whole thing about Chaseplane, storing all your camera views in the cloud, that was a bunch of bunk, because when I resurrected my Chaseplane account, or as it were in Orbix, none of my camera views for my planes were saved, and I didn't export them. So when all my planes come out for V5, I'm going to have to create those views from scratch. Another thing that you can do in the meantime is your scenery files. So if you have scenery set up in 3.4 or 4.5 and you have V5 installed, you don't need to wait for the scenery developers to repackage their sceneries. Just go ahead and point the V5 scenery configurator to the libraries that you have in 4.5 or 3.4. You don't need to reinstall your scenery, just go ahead and point to them. Having said that, all the new technologies implemented in V5 to make the sceneries look better. If those scenery packages have not been updated, you won't be able to see the nice eye candy. But for me, that's relatively marginal. Also, some of the niche add-ons, such as Avlasoft EFB and FS Captain, those work pretty much independent of what kind of sim you have. It doesn't really rely on the sim engine. They just provide some fun events, such as giving you feedback on your flying and whatnot. You can go ahead and install those and get those set up, and it takes a while to get those configured, especially the EFB if you're going to run them on separate computers. Getting the ports open, making sure everything is set up, that's a lot of time consuming stuff that you can get done in the meantime. Another thing you can do is update your rig, buy some more RAM. In my case, I bought an AMD 5700 RX Radeon graphics card, dropped that bad boy in there because I want to start flying in VR. That's why I was so excited. Unfortunately, if I launch P3Dv5 and try to use my VR headset, which is a Quest, not the Oculus Rift, it's a Quest, and I'm using the Anchor cable through the USB 3.1 port. If I try that and fire up VR, it blue screens my computer and it doesn't work and I have to restart. 970 graphics card, if I fire it up in V5 with the Anchor cable and Oculus on the Quest, believe it or not, it actually works. But since the 970 has only 4 gigs of RAM, V5 toned down all the sceneries, so that was really blocky and crappy. But it actually works. However, the VR in V5 did some stuttering on the left side, so they need to fix that also. The number one thing that you can do to get ready for V5 is to upgrade your rig from a physical disk to a SSD drive. I can't imagine anyone out there simming using old school hard disks because they are ridiculously slow, and these sims are getting bigger and bigger, and unless you have an SSD, everything is going to be very slow. So now is the perfect time to upgrade to a solid state disk drive. However, you don't have to actually do a clean format and reinstall. You can maintain your old hard drive, all the files, the operating system, everything, by ghosting the physical drive to the SSD. But that's beyond the scope of this presentation, and I'm pretty sure if you look hard enough you can find a video on Google that shows you how to do that. Those are some of the reasons why you may want to go ahead and wait out V5, and if you have V5, there's a lot you can get done in the meantime. With regards to the channel, what are my plans? In the past, when I set up the channel, it was a spur of the moment half-assed thing. I didn't put any thought into it, and it was largely gameplay. And I'm the professor type. I'm into knowledge sharing, so from now on I'll be putting out less videos. But the few videos that I put out won't be much in the area of gameplay, but in the area of knowledge sharing, such as this video. This flight around Kaitak with a Learjet, again, no thought into it. I just fired up the sim, the engines were running, I took off, flew around, and the landing, well, you know, the Learjet performs kind of like a fighter jet, so if you do a lot of flying, you can pull it off. The scenery looks really, really good. The AMD Radeon 5700 RX has a lot of tweaking and a lot of software configs that you can use to make your sim look good. If you upgraded your graphics card, make sure you get the latest version of the software to manage said card and configure it so that you get the best graphics possible. And that is what I've done here. So just flew around, it looks good. Unfortunately, this is the only plane I have that works. There's a ton of other planes that comes out of the box, but you know, out of the box planes are kind of crappy. All my favorite planes are not yet ready, so I went ahead and rebuilt my 3.4 install. I'm going to be playing with that until the V5 ecosystem matures a little bit and settles down. Anyway, that's it. I'm just going to go ahead and park this bad boy. One more thing before I go. I've noticed that since my channel went dormant, I still got a lot of subscribers. That never made any sense to me. I wasn't putting up any new content, and new subscribers kept coming in. My gaming buddy Belgio, from what he said, when people start asking a lot of questions about how to do this and how to do that, he said just go check out Flight Sim Guy's channel. He has instructional videos to cover all that kind of stuff. So Drew, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and looking forward to getting back into publishing videos. Hope you guys found this video useful. My name is Flight Sim Guy. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.